I hope you have understood what is respiration and the two types of respiration, that is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. So once let us see the entire process of respiration once again. I told you respiration is an energy liberating process. And how do we get energy? We get energy from the food. And who prepares food for the entire organism? Yes, of course, it is the green plants. So what do green plants do? Green plants trap solar energy. It traps solar energy, converts solar energy into chemical energy. It converts solar energy into chemical energy, that is actually photosynthesis. So where does this process take place? The process takes place in the leaf. Where exactly in the leaf? You know very well, all living organisms are made up of cells. We know that, whether it is plants, animals, they are made up of cells. So the entire plant body is made up of cells. This is the structure of a plant cell. Inside the cell, plant cell, there is one structure which we call it chloroplast. It is an organelle. All this you will be learning in 8th standard. For time being, just remember, that is, plant cell has an organelle called chloroplast. So this is the structure of chloroplast. This is the plant cell. Actually, the chloroplast, inside the chloroplast we have, the plants have the chlorophyll pigment, okay. Inside the chloroplast, the chlorophyll pigment is present, okay. So, the sun's energy, that is solar energy, is absorbed by the chlorophyll pigment present in the chloroplast. Then what happens? Whatever carbon dioxide and water it has taken, it will be combined and it will be forming glucose and oxygen. This process we call it photosynthesis. You can remember that photosynthesis as conversion of solar energy. Converting solar energy into chemical energy. Okay? Then, afterwards what happens? Then we feed on the plants, either directly or indirectly. So I have taken here the rabbit. Rabbit is a herbivore. It will directly, it depends on plants as it is a herbivore. So whether any animal for that matter, whether it is directly it is depending or indirectly it is depending, the source of food for us is plants. Okay. So the plants will take glucose. What is glucose? Glucose is carbohydrate. We know very well. It is carbohydrate. So whatever carbohydrate we take, we are converting that into glucose. Okay. So the glucose will be taken by the animals and we use oxygen. Why? Only in the presence of oxygen the energy is released. Where it happens, where this process takes place, it takes place in the cell. So this is our cell, animal cell. All the animal cell, right? All the animals have this cell. It will have various other organs. I am not going deep into it. We will be learning in 8th standard as well as 9th standard. So I am not going. I'm not going in detail about it. Okay. So inside the animal cell, we have a structure called mitochondria. So whatever food we take, other days if I told you, the glucose enter inside the cell. After it enters inside the cell, it has to enter into this structure called mitochondria. Inside the mitochondria, glucose will enter as well as oxygen will enter. Then only we get the energy. So the solar energy is converted into chemical energy, and this glucose, what we say, is chemical energy. So chemical substance, the chemical compound. Okay. So chemical substance, we take this chemical substance and we are converting the chemical energy. We are converting the chemical energy into what? Heat energy. mitochondria, and we give out carbon dioxide and water, and that carbon dioxide will be taken by the plants, and this continues. Okay, so plants help in converting the solar energy into chemical energy, and when we take that chemical energy, we are converting the chemical energy into heat energy. This is respiration. Converting chemical energy into chemical energy into heat energy is another definition for respiration. So you have to remember, right? Because we learned cellular respiration. So cellular respiration is what? The respiration which takes place inside the cell. Inside the cell where? If this is animal cell, like the entire body, our body is made up of cells, right? This is the structure of animal cell. Inside the cell where it takes place? It takes place in a structure called mitochondria, and there only the energy is released. That's why it is called cellular respiration. That's why respiration is called an energy liberating process. So which is the main source of energy for us? It is the sun. There is no question, because solar energy only is converted into chemical energy. Then the chemical energy is converted into heat energy. I hope this part is clear. I hope you understood what is cellular respiration also. And one more thing you have to remember, even plants, when they respire, they take in oxygen only. Only during photosynthesis they take carbon dioxide. During respiration they take oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Even plants take oxygen when it is respiring. I think I made it clear. Now let us see what is breathing, because we know right from lower classes you have learned that respiration means what? Breathing in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. Now you understand it's not just taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide. No, because it is such a elaborate process, right? Energy is released, right? How energy is released? Because of oxygen. We take oxygen. Oxygen is necessary to break down glucose. Only then we get energy. Whenever the energy is released, the amount of energy released is a lot. Enormous amount of energy is released. A lot of energy is released. That much of energy we don't use. So we store actually. Our body cell, that is in the mitochondria only, the excess amount of energy. Excess means what? A lot, right? Excess means more than necessary. When we respire, the amount of energy released is more than what is required. So that excess of energy should not be wasted. So what it does, it will store that excess amount of energy, that is in a form called ATP. It will be stored in the form of ATP molecule, and whenever we need that energy, when we are fasting and all, that time this ATP molecule will be giving us energy, and this is ATP is also called energy currency. It is called energy currency of the cell. When you fast, right? When you're starving and all, that time it will release the energy. So this is something extra information. Learn it. Okay, it's good to learn, isn't it? So now we are now going to say what is respiration. It is not just taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. It's an energy liberating process. To release energy, we need oxygen. So that is clear, I think. Okay, next, what is breathing then? Breathing is nothing but taking in air and giving out air. That is taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide is breathing. Inhalation or inhaling oxygen and giving out or exhaling carbon dioxide is called breathing. So let us see what is breathing. Okay. So what is breathing? Already I told you what is breathing. The taking in air rich in oxygen. Taking in air rich in oxygen. oxygen. So wherever more air which is rich in oxygen we are taking inside, and we are giving out air which is rich in carbon dioxide with the help of the respiratory organs. With the help of respiratory organs. So I hope you have understood what is breathing. Taking in air which is rich in oxygen, because when we are taking in air we are not separating, we are not segregating, because air is mixture of several gases. It has oxygen, it has nitrogen, it has carbon dioxide, noble gases are present. So we are not segregating, we are not separating out. Okay, this is oxygen, I am taking in. No, right? When we are taking air, we are just taking in air, and our body we have certain special cells are there which will absorb only oxygen. Okay, that we'll be learning now. The process of taking in air which is rich in oxygen and giving out air which is rich in carbon dioxide with the help of respiratory organs. So you have learned what is respiratory organs. If I ask you what is the respiratory organ of fish, you will tell me it is gills, right? Fishes respire with the help of gills. What about the insects? Insects will respire with the help of those breathing tubes or spiracles we say, right? Or it is also called tracheal tubes. Okay. So and how do we respire? Which is our respiratory organ? Right? You know very well. The lungs and the entire system. We'll be learning now the respiratory system. So the respiratory organs, right? So it is the process of taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide with the help of respiratory organs is called breathing. So breathing involves two processes. One is inhalation, other one is exhalation. So what is inhaling? Inhaling is the process of taking in oxygen or taking in air which is rich in oxygen. That is called inhalation. So what is exhalation? The process of giving out air rich in carbon dioxide. Okay, CO2 you know very well. By now you are very much thorough with CO2. CO2 is carbon dioxide. Our body don't need carbon dioxide, so we give out carbon dioxide. That is called exhalation. So inhalation and exhalation, it alternates, right? So one inhalation follows with one exhalation. You inhale and will be exhaling, and it's going on, right? Without our knowledge, we are inhaling, we are exhaling. It is going on, right? Inhalation alternates with exhalation. We are not conscious about okay, I'm inhaling now or exhaling. Only when you are doing some exercise or meditation, we say inhale, take a deep breath, and exhale. We say, right? Otherwise, we are continuously. We are inhaling, we are exhaling. We are really not bothered whether we are inhaling or exhaling because it is going on. Without our knowledge, it is going on. We are not concentrating on that. So that is about exhalation and inhalation. Let us see what is this breathing rate. Breathing rate is nothing but the number of times a person breathes in a minute. Okay, the number of times a person breathes per minute. You can check this, okay? You can just set your time on your watch, okay? And see how many times you are breathing. That is inhaling and exhaling, okay? So count in a minute how many times you are exhaling and inhaling. It's a very good activity. You do this activity with your sisters or brothers, okay? So you find out how many times, because breathing rate varies. When we are just sitting, the number of the breathing rate will be lesser. When you are running or when you are indulging in some kind of sports, that is running or swimming, okay, or when you play, right, the breathing rate will become more, because we know whenever the breathing rate becomes more, it means our body needs more of oxygen. Why? We are spending more of energy. Only when we take oxygen, the energy will be released. So that's why the breathing rate will be more, right? Increases when you are indulging any kind of sports, playing, okay, or running. When we are sleeping, the breathing rate becomes little bit less comparatively when you're playing or when you're running. Okay. So what is breathing rate? You know, understood. So one inhalation always follows with one exhalation. Okay.